Hi guys, it's Claire. This is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go to thrift stores, estate sales, I go to antique stores and a bunch of other places, and I look for things that bring me joy. And I've got something kind of cool for you today. This is more for fun rather than anything else, but hopefully you'll like it. Here we go. It is a bell. So I bought this for, I think, $4 in a thrift store. I'm trying not to let it ring too much because it's quite loud. So if I measure it off there with my ruler, you can see it's about 7 inches high. I want to say just over 3 inches on the widest part. So it's a small enough bell. Why did I buy a bell? Well, first of all, it's very clearly an older bell. It's vintage or whatever. The second reason that I got it, I think, should be fairly obvious. Hopefully you guys can actually hear this now when I do it. That tone is absolutely lovely. I am not going to just bang it because it's quite loud, so I gotta be kind of careful, and I obviously have neighbors. So what exactly is it made of? It is made of a particular alloy of brass. On the inside you can see that the clapper is a ball clapper, and it has an iron or steel hook, and it also has an iron rod that goes all the way through the handle. How do we know this? Because it unscrews. You can take it off, take that off, lift this off, and there you go. You can take the entire bell apart. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure why. I still think I find it kind of cool. It's like if you wanted to clean it or something, you could, and the whole thing just goes back together. Now, I have not shined it up because I don't think that would do anything for it. I kind of prefer to remain in the state it is. So just so you can be aware that it is actually a vintage thing. Yeah, here we go. So, why is this interesting? Okay, now the reason that I kind of like this, okay, is that although there are a lot of like vintage hand bells out there, and a lot of them you kind of, especially if you look for like school bells, you can see a lot of these. This one is not a school bell. So how do I know this? All right. Now, the interesting thing about brass, okay, especially in a bell like this, brass is not magnetic. Now, because I have a demonstration here, my lovely stainless steel ruler, and this here is a rare earth magnet. This is a neodymium magnet. Now, like, just to be clear, there you go. It's very magnetic. It is a proper strong magnet. Now, here's our lovely bell. Now, the magnetism is incredibly slight, but it is there. It can stick the magnet. It's just very, very, very weak. And what does that tell us? That tells us that this is not brass. So brass is normally an alloy of copper and, as far as I know, it's copper and zinc. Yeah, brass is copper and zinc. Okay. But this is not going to be just copper and zinc. This is not pure brass. This is a type, as far as I know, of brass called Naval Brass, where they add a small amount of tin to it in order to improve like the resistance to corrosion and what have you. And you can see here that, like, despite for something that's probably quite old, you know, it's not very tarnished. It's looking pretty good. The inside of it looks pretty good. So this is not actually a school bell, right? This is the type of bell that would be like a dinner bell for a captain on a ship, okay? We can also say that it's not a decorative piece because you don't make decorative pieces out of naval brass. There wouldn't be a point. Like, it's a more expensive type of material for Like, why would you do that if it was decorative? No, this was an actual bell. This was probably used on a ship, and now I'm using it to probably wake up my neighbors at this point. So that's why I thought that this was just a lovely thing to have, and the sound of it, the sound of it is very, very pleasing. It's such a lovely little thing. I'm probably going to keep this for a while. I'm going to keep it for the kids to use to ring them into school, because we're obviously doing all the, we're doing school at home at the moment. Eventually I probably will sell it if I get bored of the sound. I don't know if I will though. I really don't know. I really like it a lot. I would guess that it is probably based on the patina. It's probably vintage, so I'm going to say maybe, mid-century, mid-20th century. Who knows really. The wood itself is painted, I think it's painted black. I couldn't tell you what it actually is underneath that. That'd be something else for me to research. But all in all, it's a really nice little thing. I like it a lot, and it is definitely bringing me joy. So, once more, thank you for watching. Bye bye.